This is page 64 of your math journal. We're going to give this one the title of Decimals and Percents. Alright, we know that decimals and percents are both portions of a number. So let's write a little review of what percent means. Okay, percent means a ratio compared to 100. Or another way to think of it is out of 100. So when we had percents, we're saying if we had if it was worth 100 points or 100 pieces or 100 parts. Okay, well now I want you to think about a decimal place that means the same exact thing. Okay, write a star and I want you to write hundredths. Place. The hundredths place means out of 100 or 100 little pieces. Okay, now this is going to be super helpful for us because today we're going to be going between decimals and percents. All it is another way to write the same amount. One written in its decimal form and one written with the little percent sign. So percent will be written with this symbol. And hundredths place is written with a decimal. So we're going to write a couple of examples. Let's say you have 0.9. Okay, that would be 9 tenths. I could also write that as 0.90. These are the same thing. I'm going to put a comma there. Okay, these are the same thing. This is just looking with the hundredths place, so this would be 90 hundredths. Okay, what does 90 hundredths mean in its fraction form? Well, this would mean 9 over 10. This means 90 over 100. They mean the same exact amount. This would just be with 100 pieces. This would just be with 10. This is just a reduced form. And remember that percent means out of 100. So what percentage do I have here? It's the same as 90%. Okay, the easiest way to go from decimals to percents is just to remember to move the decimal 2 places. So when you have, let's go ahead and write that. To change a decimal to a percent, move the decimal 2 times. Past the hundredths spot. Okay, let's do an example. Let's say you have 0.85. This means 85 hundredths. So if I move that decimal, just getting a red pencil to help you see this a little bit better. So if I move that decimal 2 places behind the hundredths, now that is the same as 85%. But know that 0.85 is the same as 85%. So that just helps us know where it would be when written as from a decimal to a percent. So what if we do 0.6? That would be, remember we want to look to the hundredths place, so that would be 60 hundredths. So if I move that decimal point 2 places, then that would be 60%. If it helps you to think better in the fractions, then this would have been written as 85 over 100, and so that's where you could get your 85% from. This would have been written as 60 over 100, and that's where you can get your 60 from. Okay, sometimes we will be asked to go the opposite direction. So now we're going to work to change from percent to decimal. Move the decimal back. To the hundredths place. Or back to, let's see how to phrase that better. Move the decimal back to the decimal place. The normal place. So remember we moved it up here back to past the hundredths by moving 2 times to the left. Okay, so example. If I have 84.6%, remember this is 84 hundredths already, so if I want to move it back, I'm going to move it back to where it belongs. So this in its decimal form, notice I take the percent sign off as well, would be 0.846. So it's just a matter of getting used to moving it this way to make it a percent, moving it back to make it a decimal. Once you get it, it's pretty easy to remember. Let's try a couple others. Let's do 1.2%. Okay, 1.2%. I need to move it back 2 times, so 1, 2. Okay, what needs to go here is a 0 placeholder. So this would be 0.012. 1.2%, that was 1 out of 100 right there. So 1.2% would be even smaller than that. But you see the 1 in the hundredths place? Okay, let's do 60. Well, here you can see from 60%. Move the decimal back. Well, where's the decimal at? It's right here at the end, remember? So this would be 60 hundredths, so I'm going to move it back 1, 2 places, and my answer would be just 0.6. Notice these have percent signs, these don't. So Decimal to percent makes the number look bigger. Percent to decimal makes it look smaller. However, they are absolutely equal to each other. This is just written as in its percent form. This is just its decimal form.